In this video, we go through everything that is still wrong with my dirt cheap Volvo. I bought this 2002 Volvo XC70, it's a 2.4 turbo automatic from WeBuyCars at an online auction for less than 30,000 Rand. Now I've already done some major preventative maintenance, the timing belt and the PCV system, but in this video we're going to go through all the little niggles that I still need to fix on this car. Two of which are major show-stopping issues, so stick around for those. And that's the thing, with old luxury European cars, there's always stuff that breaks and that needs sorting, and that is what makes them expensive, especially if you take it to specialists or to the dealers. But if you fix it yourself, you can get away with a lot less, hopefully, and that is the experiment. So let's take a look at everything that's wrong with the car. Are you in the market for a second-hand car and you are unsure what to look out for? Now I've created a PDF checklist that you can download for free in the description below. So the first thing that is still wrong with the car, it was on the DEKRA report or the Inspectify report, is the aircon doesn't work. Now I don't even hear a click under the bonnet when I switch it on, which makes me think hopefully it's just gas, because then it will trigger the cutoff so as to protect the compressor, but we'll sort that out in a separate video. The next thing that doesn't work is the sunroof. It doesn't close all the way. Now it does open, but then it gets stuck there, and I'm not sure what that is. It could be some alignment issue. I don't think it's the switch. It's almost like the switch or the computer is thinking this is the stop. So at some point I'll dig into that. So I can't park outside, but other than that, it's not a major issue for now. Now, one of the bigger concerns is a coolant leak. I replaced the timing belt and the water pump, and after that I flushed the cooling system by draining and refilling it 3 times with reverse osmosis water and then the proper Volvo spec coolant. And then I noticed a small little drip right about there. It's not from the water pump area, it's a bit forward. I was hoping it's just pushing out the bottle, which it could still be, but then yesterday after a longer drive I noticed a massive puddle in that area there. Luckily it's not leaking at the moment now, I didn't drive very far, but it is coming from this area. There was coolant all over the transmission there. I did tighten 1 or 2 of the pipes. There's a small little pipe there that looks very bent and it could be cracked underneath. And that is one of the big problems with older cars, not just European fancy cars, any car. When it gets older, the cooling system is also older, all the pipes are older, it can crack, joints could rust if it's aluminum or metal, or if it's plastic, it gets brittle and it breaks, clamps get loose. So a cooling system that fails or hose that pops off and you don't notice can very quickly overheat your engine, and that's head gasket gone or possibly the whole engine's gone. So sorting out the cooling system is one of the biggest, most important things that I need to do on this car, especially if I want to take it out of town on longer drives to make it reliable. And you can't mess with engine cooling. So that is definitely one that I'll have to dig in, and I'm probably going to have to remove a whole bunch of stuff again to get to those pipes. So the next major thing that I still need to really dig into and possibly fix is when I did the timing belt. You can check out the video up here somewhere. I noticed that the crank pulley marks doesn't line up when I line up the timing gear marks, which suggests that it's one tooth out. Now I didn't want to assume it is and fix it and then I make a bigger mess. So I just put it back the way it was, and when I looked on the scan tool, I noticed that the exhaust camshaft reset value is about 10%, and as far as I understand, that is the ECU adjusting the timing in order to get it just right. So something is not right there, and what I'll have to do at some point is get in from this side, get the cam locking tool. I've already ordered it from Amazon. I'll have to take off this cover, the engine mount and the cam sensor, and then make sure that these lines are horizontal or lines up, and then I can set the timing at the crank there. And I'll obviously have to remove the timing belt again to do this, so it's going to be a bit of a big job. At least I've done it now once, But hopefully that will make this car run even better than it does at the moment. There's no trouble codes, there's no timing codes, there's nothing. Even the vacuum leaks that there were, the turbo leak, that's gone. So that's a big win. The fuel trim is also very good at the moment. It's like a 3% or 3% adjustment. So I'm happy with that. It runs better than it was before. But the timing, I am 90% sure is out at the moment, and it was before. So one minor issue is this bonnet stay is not the original. The car actually has struts and they are completely pop or worn. So I'll get new ones. I'll just remove these and see if I can find aftermarket gas fit struts, and that'll keep the bonnet upright. And then similar at the back, there's a luggage rack thing or thing that prevents the luggage from going into the cabin when you brake hard or crash. And those two little struts are also finished. So I'll replace those quick and easy, if I can find them. Another potential bigger issue is that warning there. It's been there since I bought the car. It was on the photos as well. It says coolant low stop engine to warn you to not drive without coolant. And the coolant is obviously full. I did check it a few times. And what this is, I suspect, it's a common problem on these, is that the sensor at the bottom of the tank is not working. I saw the float is still working. It's loose, it's going up and down, but the sensor inside the float might be cooked. I did clean the contacts there on the plug, but I'll just replace the whole bottle. It's about 1,000 Rand, and then I can see through it again. I did clean this one, and those who have tried it before with baking soda and vinegar, you know it doesn't work. So I'll just get a new bottle, and that should sort that warning there on the dash. And then every now and again the check engine light comes on again after a few kilometers of driving, and the codes that keep reappearing is the oxygen sensor, the downstream sensor, downstream from the catalytic converter. So that's not serious. It doesn't affect the running of the car. It doesn't affect the fuel trims or the calculations the ECU does in order to get the air-fuel ratio correct. It's just an emissions thing. It measures how well the catalytic converter is doing its job, but that sensor is dead. The heating circuit is not working and the sensor is not working. So I might at some point just replace the whole sensor. I'll first look for wires that are broken, but that's not a major issue. It's not going to affect how the car runs. And then the radio. Initially I thought it wasn't working, and then I noticed that the volume knob is a bit weird. So sometimes you turn it higher and then it goes lower, and the other way around, or it's not responsive. This actually still works on the steering wheel. So I feel like it's this face plate, the electronics behind the knobs, that is a problem. Same with this source. So to choose between FM, AM, tape and CD, it actually has a tape. That thing also doesn't work very well. It's super sensitive. When you touch it, it moves and you can't get it back. Now it actually works a bit better. So I think it's just dirty contacts behind it. This one seems glued on. I can remove this one and I cleaned it a bit. But anyways, that's something we'll have to sort out at some point. But I can listen to the radio. You just need to know how to operate it. So those are all the issues that I still need to sort out on this cheap Volvo of mine. It runs great. I think it was a good buy. It's a lot of car for the money. But after I've sorted the list in this video, it's gonna be even better. Now you will be seeing some of the fixes, the ones that I feel is worth it to show on this channel. I am not a mechanic, and the whole idea is to show, can someone like me with no training keep a luxury car like this that was super cheap alive without spending too much money? So please follow along and comment if you have any questions or any advice. I know a lot of you own these Volvos and love them. And then very soon I'm going to start a new series where we tackle something completely different. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. It's going to involve some bodywork as well, but again, it's going to be totally accessible for the normal person, which I am. I'm not a trained mechanic, so stick around for that. You'll see that pretty soon. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all the support. See you soon.